Hello, how are you all? Excuse the awkward angle I'm sitting at. I've got loads of stuff from my shed. Oops, over there. We're getting a new shed, so we're having to bring stuff and keep it in the house until the new shed arrives while the other one's being knocked down. Anyway, I thought I'd make a video today on something a little bit different as opposed to my usual walkthroughs and what have you. I thought I'd try something different. And it's a video that I'm hoping that maybe one or two of you might decide to do a VR to it, which would be really interesting. Now, what I do, I tend to pull 3 or 4 cards myself in the morning, do a mini reading for myself. Sometimes I'll just pull an oracle card and take on board what words of wisdom that oracle card is giving me for that day. And other times I'll do myself a mini reading, and I do jot my readings down in journals. If my journal's down here and I'm upstairs and setting my reading out upstairs, I'll write it on a piece of paper, come down and jot it down in my journal. Now, what I sometimes do, particularly if I'm feeling that I need that little bit of a boost for some reason, if I'm feeling that possibly life is getting on top of me, or there might be an issue that I'm not sure how to deal with, and I pull myself, say, a main card, and I might put a card either side, or even 3 cards, whichever I do. I pull my main card, and it is, say, a positive card. Say we have strength. So we know that strength is there, giving me a message that I have that everything within me. I have the strength and the bravery to face whatever life has got to throw to me, to face whatever that day is going to bring, to face that funk that I might be feeling. And sometimes, particularly during this last year, there have been a number of times when feeling low has been happening quite a lot, and the reason being, I'd love to get back over and visit my family. I miss my daughter, my mother, my sister, my brother, and their families. I am dying for the day that, well, I don't like that word dying, actually, I shouldn't say that. I'm really eager for the day to arrive when we can travel again and I can go and visit my family. And that is what is at the core of me having days where I feel low. There are other little issues that crop up that I can throw over my shoulder and carry on, but there are some days that I just think, meh. So, what I tend to do when I get this, say, main card that might say strength, and I think, but I don't feel like I'm strong, what I do, I go to my decks, and I do have quite a collection of decks. I'll go along and I'll go, right, today I'm going to take that box, that box, that box, that box, whatever boxes I'm drawn to, and I pull out the strength cards from those boxes. And the reason I do that is because sometimes the images sort of enhance your intuition to a degree that you can pull out additional messages, that you can pull out a little bit more that you just might need to give you that push to say, well, you know, actually, the card's right. I can do this, I can do that. I might read a strength card in one deck quite different to the way I'll read it in another. So what I've decided to do today, rather than just going on and on and on, trying to re-explain myself all the time, I have taken 3 decks, and I've taken a few cards out of each deck, taken the same cards out of each deck, just to look at the difference in those cards and compare them to each other, and how I might read them differently. And I don't know if any of you do this, probably we all do it, we all do it, but how you can see that bit more from anything else, from the different artists' work. And if you feel the same, please do a VR to this and let us know, because it's really, really quite interesting that one card, one message, same sort of basic meaning, but you can get so much more out of it. I find it rather fascinating. Now, first of all, the decks that I'm looking at are the Bright Future Tarot, and this is a lovely, lovely deck created by Saskia Lee that is my one of my favourites. I have to be honest, it has shot straight up there to one of my favourites. So I'm using this deck. I'm also using my Modern Witch Tarot. I love this deck. And I am using my Healing Light Tarot. Okay, that's fairly new to my collection, and it's quite different in a good way. So let's have a look. First of all, we're going to take the Modern Witch, and we're going to look at the Modern Witch, as I said, the Bright Future and the Healing Light. So let's look at the Ten of Swords. I've just picked out the cards that I've picked out. I'll tell you the same ones from each deck. There's the Ten of Swords, the Fool, the Magician, the High Priestess and Strength. I might not look at all of them, but just examples from each of them and show you what I get from them. One thing I will say about the Modern Witch, something that I really liked, was that we have our Ten of Swords, but the Modern Witch deck added another Ten of Swords, and this is so lovely. Everything will be all right. Everything is fine. Everything is fine. Because, you know, sometimes you get that Ten of Swords and you think, oh, shit, what now? You know, why am I feeling like this? When I'm going to start getting up and about and feeling normal again? But that put a different slant on the on the sort of aura that you get of the Ten of Swords, and it actually put, well, do you know what, things might be shitty at the moment, but they are going to be fine. Things are going to work out, because we're going to put everything we learn from everyday life into practice to pick ourselves up, brush ourselves down and carry on, you know. So that added that extra bit to what would have been our Ten of Swords. Now here we go. If I was to take this one out for a second and just go for our Ten of Swords, Ten of Swords, Ten of Swords, okay, right. So this Ten of Swords from the Modern Witch, I would say, well, you know, things have got you down. You have taken on far too much. You are doing far too much for other people, similarly to our Ten of Wands. But in this one, people have put on you so much so it's worn you down that you can no longer carry on, that it is going to wear you down, and it is going to possibly affect your health if you don't start handing back responsibilities to others and giving them handing back responsibilities and making them learn by their own mistakes, instead of you carrying their mistakes forward, taking blame, whatever. But this one, she's not quite done. She's using her phone. She's calling for help. I need a little bit of a hand here. Hey guys, come on, it's getting too much. And as a result, yes, everything is going to be okay. People are going to realise they've done too much. They've taken too much, and they need to start giving back. On this one, things are coming to an end, okay? Things are coming to an end. Very similar to a death card in a sense. The situations are coming to an end. Not so much as in change that the death card brings in newness, but there is something that's going on that is going to come to an end. It could be something that you're enjoying might come to an end, and you might have to find yourself in a situation where you've got to pick yourself up, and you'll find that there's a grief with whatever comes to an end. But again, it's picking yourself up. It could also be troubles coming to an end. Look, we've got floral, now we've got poppies down there. Are they poppies? I think they are. Yes, lovely little poppies that have been thrown down there. But they're there because they're going to climb back up. They're going to get back up and sort themselves out, and that's you. You're going to get back up there. This isn't you that's being buried, it's a situation. A situation that has possibly weighed you down, and it's going to come to an end, and you're going to start growing and being you again, okay? And then we've got this one. Now, this one from the Healing Light Tarot. It's different. It is different. Because if you look here, now I don't know if you'll be able to see this on camera, sometimes when we look at a deck of cards and we look at even just the way the ink falls on the page, sometimes you can get other images in that. There's one deck that I felt this with, and it was my CS Tarot, and on the Ace of Swords I could see a knight in the crackling around Ace of Swords. It was amazing. But this one here, we've got someone who's really at the end of the tether, okay, and don't know which way to turn. At this moment in time, things aren't really going to be all right just yet, because the person's prone, okay, really, and drowning in waves. This one is almost there, but things are going to get better. This one, something is going to end, but this one is like face down in the water, and it's almost as though, if you look here, you can see some sort of shape here. It's like they're being called. It's like their spirits going up, okay, coming from their body and going up. But don't give up. That healing light is here. It's going to save you. It's going to protect you. It's going to form a barrier around you so that you will rise from whatever it is that's getting you down. You know, that there is light at the end of the tunnel, okay? So that's 3 different images, similar messages, but not quite the same. They've all got that little added extra. And I just feel that when artists create decks and we can use them in a manner that enhances our readings, whether they're readings for us, readings for other people, whether they are just something to do, and jot down in your tarot journal. If you journal using your tarot journal, it's wonderful to be able to look back on and say, well, wow, I found this and I felt that out, and you know, refer back. Sometimes we can forget as well, and it's nice to be able to look back and say, well, yes, I'd forgotten that I had done that. The other card I'm going to look at now is the Fool. Now this is the Fool from the Healing Light. That is like someone who is just running pell-mell into oblivion and sod the consequences. This is, I am definitely looking before I am leaping. Yes, I'm following that light. I'm not seeing the shadow that could possibly trip me up. I'm not seeing that because I don't want to see it. I don't want opinions and I don't want help. I'm just going to do it my way and sod everything. That's that one. Not prepared for what hurdles could be facing him or her on the way. Very similar with this one, however, this one's not going to fall. Why is this one not going to fall? This is carefree. This is carefree, happy and young. This is seeing the world through the eyes of a child, in my opinion, okay? People might see this differently. Look at the aura around this person, and even the way the body's jumping, the whole feel around this is youthfulness. It's new, and that's, we've all got this inside us. Youthfulness, new, and we are carefree, but we're not going to fall. We're not going to fall because this bridge is going to catch us. This fallen tree is something we're going to land on and get ourselves across that crevice. Right now, there are no hurdles. We are able to just go and be. We're able to explore. We're able to take that path of newness and go with it. Go out, find the wonders of the world and make it our own. And it's really just the newness of it, the feel of it is all beautiful. And then we have the Fool from our modern witch. And look at this. Here she is, carefree. She's blocking out the noise of the world. She has her earphones in, her iPhone in her hand. She's a knapsack on the back, her hair dyed, flowers in her hair. Just so carefree, but shutting out the sound. Closing herself in her world. Not listening to advice, pretty much like the others, but actually shutting it out. Shutting it out to the point that could that mean that we really are going to drop off the edge of that cliff if we're not careful? You know, we have friends that are warning us and holding us back, but we don't want to hear. We don't want to hear. We're shutting it out. We're going to march to the beat of our own drum. We are going to do what we want to do, come hell or high water, and like the Healing Light Tarot, almost sod the consequences. Whereas there's the image of being caught in the Bright Future Tarot, the image of landing on a fallen tree and using it as a bridge to cross any hurdles on our initial journey down a new path. This is like, well, we're not paying the blind bit of attention and we might just drop. We might fall. We're not seeing what we're leaving the city behind. We're going off. We're doing our own thing, and it's going to be, like I said, guided by herself. She just wants to forget. She's had too much. She's had too much of everybody giving it this, so she's blocking out the noise, and she's going off to do her own thing. Not quite as careless as this one. This one is like taking a leap of faith, like I've never seen someone take a leap of faith before. But there are hidden, darkened out barriers or hurdles or possible dangers ahead that this person needs to be aware of. This one needs to, be careful what you're doing, but not blocking out that external noise, that white noise that sometimes when we're listening to people and we switch off because it almost is like a white noise, we don't want to hear it. And then we have to just reap the consequences, take the consequences with what our actions are. I think between the two of them and the bright future, there is a difference in the sense that one has an element of safety to it, one has an element of danger to it, and one is like, well, there's no real hurdles ahead at the moment, but just beware. Maybe now and again take those out, because sometimes we do need a little bit of advice along the way, Then I decided to pick out, let's have a look. Which one shall we look at? I think we're going to look at, I did have the Magicians out, but the Magicians pretty much, that's out, as above so below stance, everything that we need, we have at our fingertip in order to achieve what we want to achieve, okay? This one reminds me of Harry Potter, the magician. So what do they call it? Anamorphic? Is it anamorphic? Being able to fly and do what we want and be able to get where we want, because we do have that wise inner knowledge, the wise old owl, okay? Being able to see everything, know everything, and be able to do things at his will, because he takes his own advice. He has 2 eyes, 2 ears and 1 mouth. Therefore, he does more looking and listening than he does talking. And this magician is filled with power. Look at the way this magician is standing. Look at the lightning bolts running through his body. Is that lightning bolts? Is it sort of relying on your spirituality, your inner abilities to be able to reach your targets and be able to stand up and say, I have the power, I can do this, you can do this, whoever you're reading for can do whatever. Our 3 High Priestess cards are quite different. Within the Bright Future Tarot, we have the Oracle, and I love this card. Why do I love it? Because here, our Oracle, or High Priestess, refer to it as an Oracle because she's named the Oracle here. That's, if I was reading for myself, that would be me, okay? Me, on this side, I'm listening to my inner voice, my spirituality. I'm using my my intuition. I'm using my love of the phases of the moon to cleanse my cards, to do whatever I want to do, all a little bit of witchy stuff and tarot stuff, that this is being done in here. But I also have the knowledge of everyday life, of running a home, of running a business, and that is that is my everyday life. I'm able to do this because I know how to do it. I know how to run an everyday life because I have the ability, I have the knowledge. I also, here we can see family, time, work, everything. We are the person that they go to for their advice to carry on their day. We are the person that is there in our household, being the leader of the pack, being the one that people think that they can come to for advice, for guidance, and sometimes just for comfort, because there's an inner peace, there's an inner knowledge, and with that comes the ability to pass on those feelings to others. So when other people come to you from the hubbub of their day, or even if you want to take time out and meditate, you're able to pass on that peace and knowledge and tranquility and help people along their way. Here we see our High Priestess, a very modern High Priestess, working away on her laptop. But this priestess, she's clever, you know. She's there. It's almost like she's the boss. This comes to me, if I was to look at this and sort of what attributes, what would I say to somebody who drew this card? So I said, well, one card reading due to the High Priestess, you need to listen to your inner voice. You have knowledge. You have the ability to learn. You hold the key to whatever it is you need to find out. Look inside, okay? But others look towards you for advice and guidance as well, particularly in the workplace, particularly in areas of learning and moving on. And you are there to help and guide them as needs be at the right time. And then we have our High Priestess from our inner Healing Light Tarot. Just look at this one. At first I had to stop and look and think, whoa, where is she? Because it was just so busy and so full of light. And this is really being in touch with your intuition. This is enhancing your own knowledge and abilities when it comes to your spiritualism, your tarot, your anything esoteric, but also being at peace, because I feel that this is also protective. There's so much light in this. There's so much. The feeling I get from this as a High Priestess card is protection, inner wisdom, surrounding yourself and the ability to surround others in a protective light, and being in tune with your own intuitive skills, being in tune with your ability to read deeper into others as well as yourself, having an understanding of all aspects of a person. If does that make any sense? I don't know what I'm trying to say here. It's like you're looking at this and you think, I'd go to this person for healing because they're very much in touch with their own spirituality, their own esotericism, their own being, and able with healing hands to pass that on to you. You know? There you go. Now, our last card that I've looked at for the 3 decks, I chose the Strength. Why? Because I love the Strength card. Why do I love the Strength card? Because I have needed to rely on my own strength through so many times in my life. It's unreal. Do you know, sometimes you think, okay, somebody stop chucking the shit down. My Strength card is getting a little bit thin down here. But let's have a look. Look at this Strength card. That's being able to carry the weight that's thrown at you sometimes, because we all have so many burdens in life to carry. You know, they might not all come at one time, and they might be here sporadically, and sometimes some people seem to have more shit to carry than others, and it can seem a little bit unfair, but you're not going to get that to carry unless you've got the strength inside you to carry it, you know. And with this, you're looking at, because we have 2 people here in the Lion, it's like looking at your inner strength, your physical strength, your mental strength. Everything is strong, and you shine, and others come to you because they need your strength to help carry them through at times. Then we have our Strength here, and this is, you know, you're feeling fed up. Things are getting to you. You might have had news that you know, you think, how much more? But sit down, look inside you, and find that inner strength, that inner courage, that inner will to fight, to be able to get to the top, to be able to overcome what is causing you an issue, to be able to deal with any negative news that comes your way, to be able to sit back, look at what hand you've been dealt, weed out what's not needed, use the inner strength to be able to know that you can weed out what's not needed, and you've the strength to work out a path away around any hurdles or problems that are pushed your way. I love that one. I love this, where we have the person sort of morphing into the lion or tiger, you know. This one here I love, because this one, this is more traditional, but what this says to me, sometimes when there's an issue going on in life and you're watching what's going on, we've had an issue where I live, okay, and it's having the strength to say, do you know what, instead of being embroiled in things, instead of being pulled into it and saying, for me, need to step back, and I need to have the strength to step back. You know, we need to sometimes have the strength to say no to people, because sometimes people can take too much, a bit like leaving you with the 10 of swords situation. And sometimes we need to step away and enjoy the beauty and the peace that's around us. Go ahead, make those flower garlands, make your flower crown, take time out in nature, have the strength to say, sorry, I can't help you today because I'm helping me. And that's sometimes an inner strength that we need, because it's not easy to say no. Sometimes we find that we feel obligated to say yes to people for certain situations and certain things, or, you know, particularly, you know, if you've got people that come around and say, you know, can I borrow money? And it's all, you know, you feel like you've been put on the spot and you go, yeah, have the strength to say no. No, I'm sorry, I can't do it. Okay, it depends on certain situations and certain things, but we're looking at a situation now that maybe somebody is continually coming and saying, can I borrow, can I borrow, can I borrow? And we feel obligated because they could be a good friend or a family, and you're not always getting it back, and you say, no, sorry, I can't do it anymore. I am not the Bank of Elaine, you know. And it's having the strength to say, no, I'm sorry, whatever's going on over here, there seems to be some little shitfest going on between people. Nope, I'm not doing that. No, walking away. Somebody could turn around, and this is what this particular strength card, I always associate with something going on externally, and having the strength to say, enough is enough. I'm backing away. This is not healthy. And that is what that strength card says to me. Folks, I've gone on for half an hour. I didn't expect it to be this long. I hope this makes sense. I hope you've enjoyed it. And I also hope that whatever's going on in your life is good. Take care. Thanks for watching. And I'll see you soon. Bye now.